If you have a self-managed super fund or you have been planning to set one up to buy an investment property, you need to understand these latest changes. The government teamed up with the Greens to pass a new law that restricts us from buying a residential investment property in our self-managed super fund under the borrowing arrangements. And from 10th of August 2026, any borrowing to buy a residential investment property under self-managed super fund is completely banned. So if you didn't get a contract signed before that date, the door is now locked. And now people are asking, is property investing under super completely dead? What do I do with my super now? But while the door to residential property may now be closed, people are now turning their attention towards commercial real estate. And today, we are breaking down the exact mechanics of investing in commercial real estate through your SMSF under these new rules. We will look at the good, the bad, and the ugly side of investing in SMSF. Who should invest in commercial property, and what separates a good commercial deal from a financial trap? If you are new here, hi, I'm Adeal from Ariza Buyers Agency, where we help Australian families build lasting wealth, giving you the freedom to enjoy life at your terms. So if you like content like this and want more of it, show us some love by clicking subscribe, as 90% of you watching this are yet to subscribe. So let's first understand what the law actually says. The new law stops you from using limited recourse borrowing arrangement, which is just the bank's fancy word for SMSF home loan to buy a residential house. But the law does not touch what ATO calls business real property. In simple terms, your SMSF is still fully allowed to borrow money to buy commercial real estate. So, what qualifies as commercial real estate? Here are some examples. Industrial warehouses and workshops, medical practices and dental clinics, professional offices or corporate headquarters, retail shops, cafes or convenience locations, specialized assets like childcare centers or vet clinics. As Tracy Scotchbrook, the head of policy at the SMSF Association, pointed out, this change may cause a massive reallocation of the capital. Everyday Australians who used to prefer buying a residential investment property may now look at commercial real estate for the very first time. Now, while the intention behind the policy may seem good, the commercial real estate is a completely different beast. It has its own issues and laws that tightly govern what may or may not be done. You just cannot use a residential mindset in a commercial world, or you will get burned very quickly. Let's start with the good news. Now, there is a reason why high net worth individuals and successful business owners are so obsessed with holding commercial property. There are 4 massive benefits. Number 1, the ultimate tax safe haven. Outside of super, the recent federal budget hit investors really hard by replacing the 50% capital gains tax discount with inflation indexation model and a strict 30% minimum tax floor. But inside your SMSF, the tax environment is incredibly protected. While your fund is in accumulation phase, meaning you're still working and growing your wealth, any rental income earned by the property is taxed at a low, flat rate of just 15%. Even better, if you hold the commercial asset for more than 12 months, your fund receives a unique 1/3 discount, capping your maximum effective capital gains tax at a tiny 10%. And the ultimate benefit? Once you transition into the pension phase in retirement, the tax rate on both your rent and the net capital gains drops to an absolute 0%. Now, this obviously works as long as the total value of your assets inside super is less than $3 million. Because as we know, the government recently implemented higher taxes on super funds which have assets worth more than $3 million. They never fail to miss an opportunity to tax us, do they? 2. Superior rental yields. Residential property yields in major cities like Sydney and Melbourne have gone down recently, and in some cases, they even sit between 2 and 3%. Commercial property, however, operates in a completely different way. It is quite common to secure prime industrial or retail properties with rental yields from 5 to 8%. This means significantly more cash flow is coming into your super fund every single month. 3. The triple net lease. Now, this is a big one and a big plus over residential real estate. When you own a residential property, you're always hit with taxes and bills like land tax, insurances, council rates, water bills, maintenance cost, just to name a few. Now, with the standard commercial lease, the tenant signs what is called a net lease or a triple net lease. Under these terms, the tenant is legally responsible to pay 100% property taxes and bills like insurance costs, council rates, maintenance cost, repair cost, and that is a big relief for you as a landlord. Your rental income is now totally net profit hitting your fund, which means not worrying about any taxes or bills which may be keeping you up at night. Also, the leases could be multi-year, like a 3-year lease, 5-year lease, or even longer than that, which can add to your peace of mind and also provide a guideline of your expected income. 4. The ultimate business owner synergy. If you run your own business, whether you are a doctor, a physiotherapist, a mechanic, accountant, or a retail owner, the law allows your SMSF to buy a commercial building and then directly lease it back to your operating business. Instead of paying tens of thousands of dollars in rent to a stranger every single year, your business pays that rent directly into your own SMSF. It is completely tax deductible for your business while you're also building your retirement nest egg. Check with your accountant or financial planner for advice on this, as this video is only for educational and information purposes. Now, I don't want you to think that it's all sunshine and rainbows in commercial real estate. Commercial property has huge benefits, but like every investment, it has also got risks which can wipe out a newbie investor completely. Here are the 4 challenges that can cause you some serious headache. Risk number 1, extended vacancy. If a tenant moves out in a residential property, you can possibly find a family within 2 to 3 weeks if you adjust the rent slightly. But finding a tenant in commercial property is not that easy. If a specialized tenant leaves your warehouse or office, like a mechanic or a cafe closing down, that property can sit completely vacant for 3, 6, or even 12 months. Now, because your SMSF must continue to pay the mortgage every single month, regardless of whether you are getting the rent or not, an extended vacancy period can severely drain your funds and put you on the back foot very quickly. Risk 2, higher capital requirements. The banks view commercial real estate as a high-risk investment as compared to standard housing. You might be used to putting down 10 or 15% deposit when buying a standard residential house. But inside an SMSF using an LRBA arrangement, the banks would typically require you to pay between 20 to 40% upfront deposit for a commercial investment. On top of that, you need to pay commercial stamp duty and legal fees as well. Now, this means that people generally need a super balance of anywhere from $300,000 up to $400,000 to execute this investment in a safe way without draining their funds completely. Risk number 3, the Division 296 tax. Now, as we discussed earlier, under the new law of Division 296, individual accounts with a total super balance of $3 million or more face an additional 15% tax on their earnings. Now, because commercial properties can be large, highly valuable, and also hard to sell, getting stuck with a massive property valuation that pushes your asset value beyond $3 million can actually create an unexpected tax bill for you. So be mindful of the asset that you are buying and your tax liability. Your accountant can help you with it, and they usually become your best friend the minute you start thinking about commercial real estate. Risk number 4, strict compliance. If your SMSF leases a commercial property back to your own business, you are under a constant microscope by the ATO. You must charge your business the exact market rent. If you charge too much rent to artificially pump money into your super, or if you charge too little to help your business out, the ATO can easily hit your fund with a non-arm's length income penalty, which taxes that income at a maximum marginal rate of 45%. You must pay for independent commercial valuations to prove that you are paying the correct market rent and you're staying within the rules of the game. Otherwise, the consequences can be really difficult for you. And generally speaking, if you are running a business, it's always recommended to stay within the rules of your industry. Now let's look at an example with calculations so that you can see what a great asset looks like versus a total trap. The bad commercial asset? Imagine an investor buys a regional office building for $1.2 million inside their SMSF. It looks attractive because it promises 8% yield. But here is the problem. Building is old, and the office sector is facing challenges since 2020 because of remote and hybrid work trends. The tenant is a small local business with a rolling 1-year lease. Now, if that tenant leaves, the owner faces a huge bill just to update the office and attract a new business. The property sits empty for 14 months. The SMSF members have to make emergency out-of-pocket contributions to make sure they can afford the mortgage and not default on the loan. Now, this is a disaster, and frankly, this is something I wouldn't touch. The good commercial asset? Now look at the smart investment. An investor uses their SMSF to buy a modern, light industrial warehouse, 150 square meters in size, in a busy suburb for the same $1.2 million. It is leased to a local mechanic with a secure 5-year lease with a 3-year option built in. With a fixed 4% annual rental increase already built into the contract, the tenant completely customized the inside with their own fit-outs and business needs, meaning they are more likely to stay long-term in this property. The internal clearance is 7 meters high with a wide roller door, which makes it suitable to 50 different types of businesses, from online retail distributors to plumbing businesses. The tenant pays 100% of insurances, repair costs, and council rates. The super fund receives a reliable, predictable 6.2% net rental yield, compounding every year, completely stress-free in a low-tech super environment. This is how you can use commercial property to achieve financial freedom. So, the question is, who should invest right now? This is not a financial advice and I'm only sharing my observation. But this strategy is highly suitable for established business owners who want to buy a place for their own business, or investors with a decent super balance who already own residential property outside super and now looking for asset diversification. And who should not invest? If your SMSF balance is less than $250,000, or if you don't have a stable, consistent income inside the super to support potential vacancies that can last for months, you should absolutely stay away from commercial real estate. The risks are simply too high for small funds or for people with little to no experience in this domain. Regardless of what you want to do, seek independent advice from your accountant and financial planner before considering commercial real estate in your self-managed super fund. The changes we have seen hit Australian landscape recently are not designed to stop your family from achieving financial freedom. They are simply changing the layout of the map. The old easy game of buying established residential house inside your super is officially over. But those who are looking to take the risk and educate themselves, look at the numbers before diving into a commercial real estate business. The upside can be greater than they have ever been, but so can be the downside. Don't let the media panic you and your family's path to financial freedom. If you want to help discuss your options with your superannuation or would like to understand how a commercial loan actually works, click the link below, book a call with our team where we will assess your individual situation, review your numbers, and help you map out a customized roadmap for your next property. Stop watching the news, start analyzing the data, and let's build your property plan together. I'm Adeal, and I look forward to seeing you on the call.